Okay, everybody, we are joined today by three guys I like to call the young guns of LIV Golf. We are joined by David Puig from Fireballs GC, Caleb Surratt from Legion 13, and Tom McKibbin from Legion 13. Welcome, guys. Before we get started, I just want to acknowledge something that Legion 13 had some very big news this morning. You guys were officially signed by Callaway to be the official team equipment sponsor. So congratulations, first of all. And I just want to kind of get first reactions from you guys on this exciting news. Caleb.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think, me and Tom sitting here have always been Callaway players. So to be able to kind of carry that on with us as we progress into our professional careers it's an honor, and it's in what I believe the best team in golf. So to have their support and their backing to our betterment of our careers it's a dream come true. So we're very excited about the future.
Tom, reactions from you?
Yeah, obviously very similar to what Caleb said. It's very exciting, and being a part of Callaway for the last couple of years and continue that trend on is pretty cool. And as Caleb said, it's one of the best sort of teams or brands in golf. So yeah, very excited to have them on board with us.
Well, congratulations. So getting back to the Young Guns press conference, so you guys are really what we like to call the next generation of talent, not only on LIV Golf, but in the golf world altogether. I'm just going to rattle off some facts for everybody so they know about you. David, you're currently number 4 in the LIV Golf standings for the year. You are 23 years old. You are currently the top 3 in driving distance at LIV Golf, the top 3 in strokes gained at LIV Golf, the top 3 in stroke average at LIV Golf, and the top 3 in most birdies at LIV Golf at 23 years old. Let's just have a moment for that and talk about your incredible career this year and, your journey.
No, yeah, I think the start of the year was pretty successful so far. I think I played more consistent than last year. As you mentioned, in some of the stats, I'm doing pretty good, which I'm glad that all the work back home in the off season kind of paid off, and that's pretty much the plan throughout this year. Just try to be more consistent in every part of the game, and hopefully move from that top 3 to that first spot.
And David, you've been grinding out there, playing the international series events as well. You won 2. You won in both Malaysia and in Singapore. So obviously back in Asia. How do you like your chances this week?
No, yeah, I love Asia. I played a lot of golf here in the last 2 years or so. Great continent, great countries that I played in, and never won in Hong Kong before, but it'd be awesome.
And Caleb, you were part of Legion 13's incredible success last year, winning 4 team events and really dominating. Can you just talk about your first year on LIV Golf as a member of Legion 13, and then the confidence maybe that's kind of motivated you for this year?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think being able to come, directly from college into being around John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton every day was, it's hard to not get better, and it's definitely hard to not learn a lot. So, I've learned a ton from those guys. I've learned how to become a, better version of myself, how to become a better player, and just in the way that I work and my habits. So, it's valuable information for a 20-year-old, and, I know it's going to all benefit me in the long run, even though, still in kind of the learning phase right now, but very excited about the future and extremely driven and motivated to get after it.
So 20 years old, you're only your second year in. You're currently sitting number 20 in the rankings. How does it feel when you look at those rankings and you see all of the other names of, some of golf greats, and you're sitting above them? How does that feel?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's early in the year, and I know that I've progressed as a player, and I think I've kind of shifted my goal from a less about results and more about like if I can do everything the right way and continue to work in a positive way and continue to keep great habits, I know that in the long term I'm going to have a lot of success. So, yeah, it's cool being around all these guys and competing with them, and definitely helping me become a better player.
And Tom, over to you. Equally as impressive, you're currently sitting number 13 in the individual rankings for the year. You turned pro at age 18. You won your first DP World Tour event in 2023. And so far this season, you've yet to suffer a 3-putt. Pretty impressive. Can you just talk about your experience on LIV so far and kind of your journey to becoming a professional?
Yeah, obviously the last couple of weeks have been a lot of fun. Something that's been a little bit different to me. But I've had a great time, and Australia was a whole new experience and something that was incredibly fun to be a part of. And I feel like I've played some very nice golf the first sort of 2 weeks. So just trying to keep that going, hopefully for the rest of the year. And yeah, I turned pro very young and thankfully had hopefully a lot of success quite young, and sort of being able to sort of hopefully take that over to here is something that excites me a lot, and I'm looking forward to just playing this whole year and sort of seeing where that leaves me at the end of it.
I think you wowed everyone the very first event at LIV Riyadh. You came in like a wrecking ball. Obviously, a lot of momentum going into the season. Can you just talk about what do you think that was attributed to? Because everything was fresh and new for you, but you obviously played some of your best golf.
Yeah, obviously, as you said, a whole new experience, and then threw the night golf in there as well, which was different. I was probably just more excited just to get started. Obviously, the whole sort of waiting around for a few weeks, I sort of knew what had been going on, and sort of waiting to get going. That probably maybe brought out the best in me. Just finally, once the golf sort of started, I was able to go out there and sort of do my own thing and be in a place that I felt very comfortable. So that probably helped get me off to a good start, and once that sort of first round was over, I felt very comfortable going forward.
So you guys all have incredible mentors. Caleb, Tom, you guys have John Rahm. David, you have Sergio Garcia. Can you guys each just talk about how important it is to have a mentor like John and Sergio, and how that's contributed to your success and your professional journey? I'll start with you, David.
No, yeah, it's very important. Sergio is just, nice guy. I would say off the course it's more important for me. Just kind of see the way he plans his weeks and what he does off the course, and how relaxed he is, and sort of how he helps us just to, be more calm, and what stuff to do off the course, and just to hang out with each other. And I mean, on course is pretty much the same thing. You just try to learn from him, ask him a bunch of questions of what he would do here or whatnot, and it's been an incredible journey just to have him by our side.
Caleb, talk about how important John's been to you.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about being around John right now is you're kind of witnessing a player from the outside in who's arguably still at the peak of his career and maybe not even reached that yet. So to see him, still contending in major championships, and he's clearly the biggest, if not, or one of the biggest, if not the biggest name in golf. It's, I couldn't name many better guys to learn from. He's been really good to me, and I've been thankful for that, for kind of a guy that, kind of has every right to go his own way and has every right to, he doesn't really owe anything to Tom and I. He takes a lot of time to help us become better players and better people off the golf course. So, to have that in the back pocket and be able to learn from him is, you truly are getting to learn from the best. So that's something not to take granted for.
And what do you think, what's the best piece of advice, each of you, I'd love for you to answer, that you guys have gotten since you've been out here, whether from your mentor or someone else out here? I'll start with you, Tom. I know it's new.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know. I wouldn't really say that I've gotten any just deep down, just straight advice, but I think sort of going back to what Caleb said, just being able to learn and notice certain things these guys do, especially with how relaxed they are. I think maybe me and Caleb are very, very similar people. We love golf, and it's sometimes very easy to take it very seriously, and sort of it feels like life and death sometimes, and sort of seeing how relaxed that some of these guys just take it and enjoy their time. For me, I've maybe seen that as a way of, no wonder these guys are so good, because they just really, sometimes it looks like they don't really care too much, and they're just out there having a good time, and I think sometimes that can contribute to a lot of good golf. So I think sometimes me and Caleb maybe take it a little serious sometimes, and yeah, just sort of witnessing that and maybe relaxing a little bit for me has seemed to have relaxed myself and sort of seemed to play a little bit better from that.
And how do you balance having that, super competitive edge with also maintaining a relaxed demeanor?
I don't know. I'd say it's maybe just it could just be our age thing. We're younger, sort of want to try and do well and maybe prove ourselves. But I think sometimes just sort of taking your time and realizing that we're good players and don't need to be out there stressing too much early in the week, and just getting our work done and just sort of having a good time after that, I think is very important.
Caleb, best piece of advice on or off the course from Mr. Rahm or someone else?
Yeah, I'd say it's completely agree with everything Tom said. I'd say, like, my way of putting it would just be like the value of simplicity. Like, I think David even probably experienced this when he first came out here. Like, it's easy to go from college and, try to come tinker with everything, right? Like, trying to feel like you're in total control in everything and stressing about things that you shouldn't be stressing about in order to maintain the so-called perfect that we can't. And John is undoubtedly the best player I've ever seen at just being present, keeping things simple. He does the same thing literally every day in every round and routine. So, you learn that less is more. It's, that has been monumental in my development because I've always been a player to kind of want full control of everything. So being around him, learning that is probably the best piece of advice.
Sage advice. And your best piece of advice, David? You've been out here a little longer.
Yeah, I would. For me, I would say consistency. Sergio, he's probably one of the best ball strikers ever in this game. So just kind of like hit more greens in regulation. It's something that he always tells us to do. I think it's very important if you hit a bad tee shot, just to try to put the ball back in position, try to hit the green, and from there, it's way easier to score. So it's something that I always have in mind. Try to hit as many greens in regulation as I can, and just keep it simple and very consistent.
And do you think winning breeds confidence? You had an opportunity to win a couple times last year, and then obviously you're playing the best golf of your life. Do you think that's contributed significantly?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's one of the parts of my game that I still need to get better at. Greens in regulation. It's something that I don't know if because I'm maybe too aggressive sometimes, or if my driving accuracy hasn't been as good as I want. But trying to hit more greens in regulation is definitely up there for me, and I'm just trying to get better at, to hopefully contend a lot more.
We're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about this week, LIV Golf Hong Kong. Obviously, I know Caleb, David, you guys have experience playing Hong Kong Golf Club. First kind of thoughts, reactions on the golf course, and then is this your first time out here? So would love to get your initial reactions.
No, yeah, the golf course is great. I played it twice. Didn't do very good last year, but I played pretty good on that Asian Tour event they had here a couple of years ago. I think it's playing a little softer than what we're used to. But yeah, I think hitting it off the tee, it's very important. Like hitting it good off the tee, it's very important here, just to try to be on the fairway as much as possible. And if you can achieve that, then I think it's I wouldn't say super easy, but it's pretty easy if you do pretty good off the tee. So that's the plan, trying to hit as many fairways as I can, and hopefully if I do that, make a lot of birdies.
Thoughts on Hong Kong Golf Club?
Yeah, I mean, everything that David said for sure. It seems like, where this course can bite you is when you get, in that rough that can be sticky and, kind of get on the outskirts of the woods. So fairways are so perfect that if you're in the fairway and you can have the ability to keep it around the pin, just on the green, these greens are small enough, is what I've noticed, is that you're always going to have 25 feet maximum almost. So, a great goal is just going out there and trying to hit fairways and greens, and bogey avoidance is going to be huge, because I think if you're not making bogeys, you're going to be in position to make a lot of birdies. So, and a lot of birdies is what you're going to need.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I really like the course. It's not the longest, but as the guys said, it's very important to be in the fairway. And if you can manage to hit the fairways and hit the sort of the right side of the fairways, because there's a few holes that you can still be on the fairway and be slightly blocked out. And it's nice, as Caleb says, the greens are small. If you sort of get it up there around the green or on the green, you sort of seem to have a nice birdie chance. So I think it's a really cool course, something probably a little different than we're used to, with it not being too long or too many drivers off the tees. But but yeah, I've only played the front nine so far, and I'll play the back nine later. But it's been super fun so far, and I've enjoyed it.
Last question for me before I open it up. We talked about at the beginning about you guys being the next generation of golfers. Do you guys feel a sense of responsibility, Tom, to the game?
I don't know. I mean, probably not too much at the minute. There's far better players than me that probably should feel a little bit more responsibility. So at the minute, not too much. But I guess we're all just trying to probably play the best that we can, and at some point we can be a responsibility, hopefully, and that's sort of what I'm aiming for.
Do you feel a responsibility for the future growth and sustainability of the game, Caleb?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think, I think every single person here, for the most part, is very invested in the league, and I know Tom and I are very invested in our team. So, in hopes and knowing to be a part of that for a long time is, I'd say, maybe a different way of looking at it, like to growing that brand and, obviously growing as players and becoming a household name out here one day is, I think something we're all striving for. So betterment of the team, betterment of the league, and, just betterment of our growth. So.
And David, not only, out here, but also within Spain as well. Love to get your thoughts.
No, yeah, I agree. I think just kind of looking back, when I started in Spain, just trying to, show the kids in Spain that are starting playing golf or that are around, 16, 17 years of age. They can do it, it obviously requires a lot of work, maybe a little bit of luck and, a lot of other things, but they can do it. So hopefully, in a way, they look up to me a little bit and they see that I got here and that they can do the exact same.
You guys are an inspiration. The game is in good hands with you. Thank you so much. I'll turn it over to Mike, wherever he is back there.
I'm just curious, as part of LIV Golf's first youth movement, have other young golfers reached out to you and asked you what it's like to play out here?
Caleb?
Yeah, I'd say absolutely. At least for me, I still have a lot of ties to the college community, with all my friends being still in college for the most part. So, I think, through us and a few other guys, you're kind of reshaping a new pathway to youth golf and amateur golf into professional golf. And, you know what I mean? I think it's opening a lot of eyes. And I think there's a lot of people that would want to be sitting where we are. And I think we're all very thankful for that. So, you know what I mean? To be able to get to tell people about a new experience and new learning experiences out here my age and, particularly guys that maybe have never really quite thought about it because they're still in college. It's cool. And, it's something I didn't really see coming and something I'm thankful to be out here for and, be able to share those experiences and make a lot of other guys want to come out here is a great thing.
David, have some young Spanish golfers reached out to you?
Yeah, all the time. Even in college, as Caleb said, and in Spain, there's a lot of guys super interested in how LIV Golf is, and yeah, I mean, as he said, we're kind of opening a new path for youth players, and at the moment, everybody that I talk to around my age, they're super interested in what we do and where we travel and how we're playing and stuff like that. So definitely yes.
Yeah, same as the two guys. I probably haven't had as much. I didn't go to college or anything, so I'm not as close to probably those two, the many younger people. But I've definitely had a lot of my friends sort of asking what it's like, and thought it was really cool when I said that I was going to be a part of this. And I've also probably spoke to a lot of people or other players that have told me how cool and exciting this looks, and how interested that they would be as well. So I think this just shows how exciting this is for golf and other players, that people just show interest and wanting to know what LIV is like, and I think a lot of people think it just looks really cool from seeing the different sort of things that go on and how different it is.
And also, I wanted to ask each of you if there's been a moment, or do you remember a time where you kind of took a step back and said, man, this is really cool, like whether it's in a something in the team room, or maybe it was just a moment on the course or something like that? Do you remember maybe one instance of that?
I think in Australia for me, just the whole week. I had obviously heard so much about it going into it, and then getting there and getting started and playing and getting to the party hole or the watering hole for the first time, and not being able to hear myself think. I just sort of after that, I just couldn't believe how different and how cool that experience was walking up that hole and playing that every day. That was probably for me the first real, wow, this is really cool and something that I'd never experienced, and I was excited to go back to that hole every day and try and hit a better shot, and yeah, that was awesome.
For me, it had to be, I had a lot of good time to reflect in the off season, which was great, but the initial shock hit me like in that first week in Mayakoba in 2024, my first week out. Like, obviously had the whirlwind of going and progressing on to LIV, and was focused on the golf and focused on media and all the obligations and trying to do my absolute best that week. And it hit me like in that ceremony after the round when we were celebrating our win. It was like I went from literally taking college classes like in December to like in the start of February, like hugging John Rahm on the 18th green, celebrating a win. It was a shock. I think like when I got back to my hotel room that night, I just looked in the mirror. I was like, wow, like life has changed a lot. And, it truly is what dreams are made of. And so excited about the future.
For me, it's when I'm more at home, I would say in Scottsdale. I'm lucky to spend a lot of time with John when I'm back home, and just kind of see him, everything that he did in Spain, along obviously with Sergio and other guys, but just kind of like waking up and working out with him or playing some golf, or when I come here and, I'm playing alongside Sergio, is like I still think it all the time, like I'm playing with these guys that I was watching on TV literally 2 years ago, and now, they're, I would say, my friends. It's just unreal. Every time that I, share a day or a few holes with them or dinners or anything, it's just unbelievable. And I think I'm still kind of learning on that. And, hopefully in a few months or a few years, this thing kind of changes a little bit. But for now, I'm just so thankful and grateful for what they do.
And my last question, obviously all three of you guys have celebrated team victories. I'm just curious, what's the most challenging thing about the champagne celebration?
Age.
Yeah, I've never did one, so there was no champagne.
Yeah. It's tough when you're traveling to the next week, and if you have, the champagne all over your shirt, because I'm not sure if many people know it smells terrible the next day, like if it sits there. So I haven't been the one spraying the champagne yet, just because I'm, underage in America still, but, still, I'd say the smell is the hardest part to deal with, but it's definitely a good problem to have.
I would agree with that. And smell is tough, but it's part of the plan. It's part of the deal here, and I mean, hopefully, we're spraying champagne every week. We'll find a solution with the smell for sure.
All right, thanks.
Okay, over there.
Yes. Thank you. I think the first question would be, I think, three of you. Do you think it's like a different generation will have different thoughts on how they plan for the career, and for you guys, like you are so decisive and you want to join the LIV Golf. By what time? Since like 19, or in what age you start to have this kind of thinking that I want to join the LIV Golf?
Question.
Well, for me, I was still in college when that happened. I kind of got the chance to play actually in the first LIV Golf ever event in Centurion back in the day when I was still an amateur, and it was a great opportunity for me. I was super excited just to play alongside the best players in the world. So, I mean, obviously, I was still in college, so it was somewhat of a big decision to make. But I mean, I'm glad that I made that decision. It literally changed my life, and because of that, I mean, I'm here playing against the best players in the world.
Yeah, I'd say also having a similar path, leaving in the middle of my sophomore year in college. Like, I think players like us have always grown up with the intention of playing elite professional golf, and you know, when you get the opportunity, it kind of sparks a fire in your brain. And when I got the opportunity, it was a no-brainer for me. Just being, you know, it was a direct path to go play against a lot of the best players in the world, and you know what I mean. It's tough to not take that opportunity for me, and it was pretty early, so I'd say that was the one scary part. But you know, I couldn't be more thankful for the decision, and I'm very happy where I am now.
So how long would you need to take? Like just overnight, and
oh yeah,
you could sign that contract?
Yeah, mine was same day. Once I had heard that it was a opportunity, I had talked it with my team in college. I had talked to my coaches and agent, and it was a route that I was excited about. It wasn't just an opportunity. It was something new. It was something I was excited about, and I'm very thankful I made that decision, and it was a quick one for me.
Maybe a little bit different. I'd been a pro for a while, and I was a pro when LIV started, and it's something that I'd watched a little bit from the start of it all, and something that definitely made me curious or make me think about it. It's something that I think was really cool to watch and see, and I thought sort of maybe to be a part of it one day would be pretty cool. And I think sort of once the opportunity came or I thought about it, it was something that, like Caleb said, it excited me. Obviously, I love golf, and a lot of things excite me, but there was just a gut feeling and a real excitement there that I sort of obviously had to think about it hard, and it was a decision I had to make, but it was something that excited me a lot, and it really I really just couldn't wait for it to start once I sort of got everything finished, and I'm really glad I'm here. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, especially when your team won the team champion in the first Saudi Arabia station. But for Tom, I have a follow-up questions, because this question is also being asked Roy in the Genesis Invitational. The reporter asked us like the question that what did you say to Tom, and why can't you ask Tom to play in PGA Tour, because you already have your PGA card, and what he exactly asked you, or what he exactly convinced you to stay in PGA, but at the end of the day that you still want to play in LIV Golf.
I'm not gonna say what he said to me or what we talked about. Obviously, I respect Rory a lot, and I've been able to be very close to him the last 4, 5, 6 years and spend a lot of time with him. So obviously, I spoke to him obviously when the opportunity came around, and we had a couple of conversations. But ultimately, as I just said before, I just had a really good gut feeling about this, and it was something that excited me a lot. And it was something different for me. I sort of felt it was a good decision for me, and something that I had to go with my feeling, and only I can sort of make my own decisions. And it's something that I'm very happy I made. I've really enjoyed the last couple of weeks, and I think it's gonna be a great sort of thing for me and the whole thing going forward for the future.
So may I know, in LIV Golf, would like a player like Tara Hecton would approach you and talk more about LIV Golf to you?
I was very lucky. I got to play the Team Cup at the start of the year with Turl, and we played a couple of practice rounds and played in the four balls together, and we chatted a lot about it, and he told me how he found it, what he liked about it, and we had a lot of good sort of conversations that week, which was nice and sort of definitely eased my mind a little.
Okay.
Hello. I have two questions for you three. So the first one would further to the champagne challenge. Before the champagne challenge, here we got another challenge in Hong Kong. Is the weather. These days are raining. So any solutions or strategy or tips that you would like to share to conquer this weather challenge? This is the first question.
I think Tom should respond to that.
I think it's just really important to keep everything dry. Your caddy and stuff, sort of having plenty of towels and keeping everything as dry as possible. It's very hard to play golf in the rain when your hands are all over the place on the club or the golf ball isn't dry. So I think sort of keeping everything dry, keeping the ball in play off the tee. It's very hard to play in the rain. It can be quite tricky, but I think once you can sort of try and keep it on the fairways, the iron shots are very similar sort of swing, and it shouldn't take too much. But it's very difficult, very stressful when everything's getting wet, and it's certainly not enjoyable for sure.
Next question.
Okay. The next question is you all mentioned that you're excited about joining LIV, and may I know why or what do you love the most when playing in the LIV teams or these tournaments?
David, what do you love the most about LIV?
I mean, for me, it's just playing against the best players in the world. It's that easy. As I said, like college golf, I think the level right now is super high. But you know, when you join here, or when I joined here, just playing against the best players in the world, just you know, was one of my dreams, and just being able to do it every day, it's unbelievable.
Caleb, favorite thing about LIV?
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, I hate to copy him. It has to be the same answer. I mean, to be able to come out here and have a full schedule and know exactly what you're going to get every week, but from the caliber of players, it's definitely a step up from college, even though how elite it is right now. And I'd say just knowing that you're going to have that opportunity to come out here and compete with these guys week in and week out it's extremely valuable to the betterment of someone's career. So it's clearly helped David become into a great player, and Tom's had a lot of experience in his professional career, and that's something that I'm still learning out here. And I'd say the thing I'm loving the most is just kind of the process, because that's what I'm working with right now. So,
Tom, 2 events in, favorite things so far?
Yeah, I think being able to, as the guy said, play with some of the best players in the world, week in and week out is something that's very cool, and being able to sort of learn from John and Turl and play practice rounds and play some competitive rounds as well of them has just been really cool to be able to do that so quickly and learn from them, and it's going to be exciting going forward as I get to play more weeks and get to play with more guys.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Anything else? No?
Hello, I'm from Tima Golf from China. The first question for Surratt and Tom, Frank.
你用中文问可以，我帮你区分。
谢谢。
没事。
我知道你们在拉姆的团队，然后作为新生代的球员，面对这么多优秀的球手，然后在这种大赛中，你们团队里面讨论的更多的是技战术，有没有给你们下达什么指标？另外一个，在球场里面，你们更多讨论是战术问题，还是讨论的是成绩的问题
It's a question for Caleb and Tom, because you guys are in the Legion's 13 team, and while you are going out there on the field, do you discuss about the strategy more, or any KPI for you guys, or any target scoring on the discussions?
I would say no. I think our goal is just to go play the absolute best we can. And one thing I kind of admire about John and the way he runs his team is he knows that if all 4 guys are just trying their hardest and we're just putting our best foot forward every day, that when you add 4 scores up every round and at the end of the week, I feel like they're typically going to end up being pretty good. So, we're all very different in the way that we play. John's a runner, and Terrell as well, and me and Tom are still kind of learning how to be that guy. So I think we're all very different. We have different playing styles, and we just focus on adding them up at the end of the week.
I'll do the translation before Tom replies. OK， 他的Caleb 的回复就是其实我们没有太多讨论有什么指标、什么策略的，因为每个人打法都不一样。在我们就是拉姆给我们的建议就是把自己最好的拿出来，每天把最好的成绩拿出来就可以了，没有太多的指标，没有了太多的策略。OK, Tom, please. Thank you.
Yeah, very similar to Caleb. I wouldn't say we discuss strategy or scores. Maybe just one thing, like just playing the practice rounds with the guys, and you can sort of, if you're maybe not sure on a hole, you can see what they've did, and that maybe might help you make a decision. But for the most part, I think we're just sort of all out there trying our best and trying to make the best decisions we think we can make. And as Caleb says, John just, I think, has made it important that we're all just trying our hardest and sort of giving it our all, and sort of one shot lower is always better. So just very similar to what Caleb said, but our strategies are probably all very, very different, and we probably just go for whatever we feel most comfortable with.
OK， 其实我的答案就是跟Caleb 的说法差不多，就是我们没什么指标，也没什么个人的需要的策略，但是反过来呢，就是都鼓励我们把自己最好的拿出来，而且呢，最重要就是打得稳，一个一个去打，然后就把最好的成绩拿出来就可以了。
The first question for David. 加西亚是一个在少年也是一个很厉害的一个球手，然后在这个成长过程中，我知道他跟你是老乡啊，都来自于西班牙。那么在这个过程中，在队里面他有没有对你就比较的关照，还是比较的严厉？然后他作为你的队长，他有没有在这个打职业的，特别是20岁的这个过程中，有没有给你更好的在职业生涯中的一些建议
？This question about David, because your team captain is Sergio, and then he used to be a young prodigy at his age like yours. And then did he give you any advice or being calm, being a young player at the field, competing with all these experts?
No, yeah, all the time. He just kind of explains me what he did back in the day and what he does right now. He always tells me that I have the game to be out here. Sometimes things don't go your way, and sometimes you can have a very good stretch and think that you're one of the best, and you just kind of need to find that balance and find that work ethic outside of the golf course, and even when you're at home. So yeah, just work as hard as you can. Don't show your emotions that much, and just try to be as relaxed as possible, and again, trying to be as consistent as you can.
OK， David 的答案就是没错，加西亚给我很多建议，但是他的建议就是也是分享他年轻的时候一些建议，就是要接受打球是有起有落的，而且呢就是要放松一点，就是好好的去享受高尔夫，就没有给太多的压力给自己。OK。
All right, guys, thank you so much. I know you guys have to go play in the Pro-Am. Thank you. Good luck this week, and good luck in the future.